being able to see nodes is almost like having a sixth sense or something in a sense. That came out really poorly. Being able to see nodes is kind of like having a sixth sense. Turning your nameplate on will help quite a bit, because now I'll be able to find you even when you're in bat form. Or skeleton form. Alright, home sweet home. So yeah, actually I should be doing this. I should be out looking for nodes while it's nighttime, because nodes, as you notice, give off a little bit of light. It's kind of faint, but just enough that they can be, kind of help look for them at night sometimes. Help you find them.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't encounter any while making your orchard here, did you?
I have no idea. Don't think so.
I've heard of. Oh, there's one nearby your orchard though. Right down here. This looks like looks like it might have Pertitio. No, probably Pertitio. Air, Pertitio, and Spiritu. So interesting. Again, I'm full up on those. I only need Aqua, Ordo, and a little bit of Ignis. So the aspects found in nodes do roughly, there's another node over there, do roughly tie in with the biome you're in. So we're going to get a lot of Pertitio and Terra for being in Extreme Hills biome, and Air apparently. Oh, we got some Ordo. That's good. Ignis is often found in like deserts and savannas. I believe you find a lot more Aqua in oceans, because they can spawn over oceans and like rivers and stuff like that. It's like I said, it's not a hard fast rule. You can find Ignis in a node over the ocean. It's just going to be a lot more rare. So anyway, I think our wand is full enough now that we should be able to do a little bit of crafting. So you might notice that it's a little bit awkward to be holding this thermometer up in front of your face all the time, running around looking for nodes. So luckily, there is something to fix that. I should drop stuff off here. Empty my inventory a little bit first.
Yeah, I gotta empty my inventory. It's a complete mess.
Yeah. Now this cow's taking up residence in my Thaumcraft room. Yes, sir? What do you want?
Scary cow.
It is a very weird... It's a little bit creepy how it's following me around. I'll put this cauldron in here because we'll want it a little bit later.
Sure.
Foreshadowing. May as well open these treasures too, I suppose.
I have 3 discs of chirp.
Oh, wow, really?
And these other discs. I want chirping.
Okay, we got a bunch of stuff from those. Wow.
Ooh.
Okay, so we got some more coins here. We've got a knowledge fragment, which is useful. They're not by itself necessarily. We'll see it later. Got some apprentice rings of air and terra. Now these, nothing weird for this. Okay. Now these are baubles, which is a companion mod for Thaumcraft, and it gives you these slots that you can put stuff in. There's an amulet, 2 ring slots, and a belt slot. And so we can go ahead and put these in here, and these rings on. And what they'll do is they'll give us a small discount when we're spending Terra and Air V, respectively. I mean, a very small discount, it's only 1%, but could come in handy later on. We also got, let's see, a gold ingot, a splash potion of regeneration, and an ender pearl. Let me just scan this.
Well, that's going to get to me.
What?
The noise the chocobos make all the time.
Oh. You could just get a, what's the thing that muffles the sound? Sound muffler? That's
sword.
from... No, the block. I think that's from Open Blocks.
Yeah, it was the same. It's a little, you know...
A little more violent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit mess, but you know, it'll do the same idea. I wouldn't do that to you guys. Although there is 2, I only need 1. So... Really?
Don't you need 2 to, like, breed them?
Do I? If I want to breed them.
I thought you would.
You thought?
Yeah.
What?
I thought you'd want to breed chocobos.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Alright, so we're going to get our Thaumonomicon again and actually use it this time. First I'm going to sit in my chair here in front of my lovely desk here. So if we open up the Thaumonomicon, once again we're presented with all these various symbols. And so the ones that are not flashing, that are solid, represent ones that we already know about. So this will tell us things like how to create a Thaumonomicon in the first place, which again we already know because we already did that. It talks about knowledge fragments here. These are they're not worth a whole bunch, but you can put them together, you can craft them together to get a research note, which will give you a research that you don't have already. And talking about research, let's do some here.
That's close.
So on the Artifice tab here, we're going to make something very, very useful with us. That this is actually basically, it's kind of the logo image for Thaumcraft. The goggles revealing. I need scrapping tools and paper, which I forgot to get. So what we can do in the Thaumonomicon is that we can click on the various researches that are flashing, and we'll be able to get a research note to research them. Just grab a bunch of paper here. And what that means is, well, I'll show you once we get to the table here. So I'll do this. I'll click on this, and that'll give me a research note for Goggles of Revealing in my inventory here. Now, if we click on the research table, right-click on it again, we can put this research note into the table here. You can see it on the table right there. And now we get this little grid here, this little hexagonal grid with a couple different aspect symbols on it. So we've got Praecantatio, Aurum, and Census here. And what we need to do is we need to connect all of these symbols together using a chain of aspects that are either made up of or make up the various aspects seen here. That's very confusing.
Oh, sorry, I was freaking off from over there.
So for our demonstration, Census here is made up of Spiritus plus Census, I believe. I probably got that wrong.
Ooh,
I just said that completely wrong. It's made of air plus Spiritus, I believe. I'm just going to double check that. Yes, okay. So Spiritus and air will both connect to Census because both of them together make up Census, so it'll connect to each of them.
How do I make a Thaumonomicon?
Don't you have one in your chest already?
Teacher.
You've already got one in your chest. That was
hands raised.
That was handed out.
Oh, thank you, teacher. Silly me, forgetful.
So Aurum here. Yes. So Aurum here is made up of air plus Praecantatio, so it'll connect to air. In fact, so we can use that right here to connect to both of these air right there, and then that in turn will connect to Praecantatio here, which we have a whole lot of.
We're all good. Oh, thanks.
And Praecantatio itself is a combination of Potentia plus Vacuos. We have a lot more Vacuos here, so we're going to use that. So this is why I said it's important to go around and scan as much stuff as possible, so get as many of these research points in each aspect, because we'll be using them to do the research like this. So once you've completed the chain like that, you'll get a completed research node here, and the little grid will disappear. Then you can right-click on it, and you'll get this little pop-up saying research completed. And if we open up the Thaumonomicon, you'll see that we now have this new, we can now click on this thing, and it'll bring up a new I'm not sure what to call it, new entry to Thaumonomicon about the Goggles of Revealing. So it says, building on the basic principles of the Thaumometer, you've begun refining its ability to detect magic into something more revealing. This set of mystical lenses will make our nodes much easier to find, along with revealing all manner of hidden things. They form an important tool in any thaumaturgist's arsenal, which is very, very true. Yes. So they're pretty simple to make here. No worries. We've got 4 leather, 2 gold ingots, and 2 more thermometers. You can actually click on that to go to the research for it.
Somebody could me up. And... Oh, sorry, go on. It's not you. It's just...
This cat was really interested in my research. He's standing on my Thaumcraft chest. Excuse me, sir, do you mind? I need to...
Steal your magic from you. It's watching. The wrong time, you'll never... Wait, that didn't come out right. The least expected.
Maybe he just wants to be... Maybe he just wants to be my... maybe I'm misjudging him. Maybe he just wants to be like my apprentice or something. I mean... I can't hold it against him that he's a cow. I mean, just
sure you can. I do.
Well, yeah, but just because he's a cow, I can't, that shouldn't disqualify him from being my apprentice. And I always get the thermometer recipe backwards on the first try. So I'm going to make a whole bunch more thermometers here. So you can actually scan one with another one to see what it's got in it there. We need, 2 gold. We have just enough here. And 4 leather. Again, I have just enough. And so for this, if you look at the Thaumonomicon for the entry here, you notice mentioned it has these little symbols for the various primal aspects down here. 5 air, 5 ignis, 5 aqua, 5 terra, 3 Pertitio, and 3 ordo. So what this means is that we need to make this in an arcane workbench, and we need to supply that much V in each of the aspects specified in order to make this. So we'll come here to our arcane workbench. We will arrange the materials in here, as you would for normal crafting. And then we'll see it's flashing. It starts flashing all these little symbols, which is saying that there isn't a wand in this slot that has enough V to be able to make this recipe. So if we put our iron-capped wooden wand, which you can see has how many, those little numbers there show you how many of each aspect it has, of the 6 primals there. And you can see it's 109% average V cost, because iron is a terrible conductor of magic. It gives you an extra 10% cost on any V usage that you do. But you can see it modifies these numbers slightly. So it normally requires only 5, but you can see it's requiring 5.5 for Aqua and Ignis, because the extra 10%, and then 5.45 for Terra and Air, because of those rings that we're wearing to give the 1% V discount. So anyway, we have enough V, and we can go ahead and make this. So let's make some Goggles of Revealing, which by itself also confers a 5% V discount, which is quite handy. So there, we've made that. Remember to grab our wand there. We'll swap out this helmet I was wearing. Alright, so now I've got the really funny looking goggles there. And what this will do is it will allow us to see nodes without needing to use a thermometer, which, as you can imagine, is very handy. So you can see that one way over there. You can see it right through the wall. You can see it closer. So this is, like I said, one of the most useful things that any thaumaturge can make. The ability to see nodes without needing to carry around a thermometer at all times. I mean, you will carry it around for scanning stuff, but not actually, carry it around in front of you. Just makes it so much handier for finding nodes when you're out looking around. It'll also let you see other stuff, and you can just kind of see Barry down there. We're just close enough. Yeah.
Ugh.
So I find when I play Thaumcraft, this being able to see nodes is almost like having a sixth sense, or in a sense. That came out really poorly. Being able to see nodes is kind of like having a sixth sense, because it lets you see these things that you can't otherwise normally see, and then when you inevitably end up dying and losing your goggles, you immediately kind of feel really lost because you can't suddenly see these nodes everywhere, because they kind of make a nice little because you can see them through walls, they make a good kind of navigational system. You can kind of get your bearings based on where they are. So, I'm always very, very happy whenever I manage to build my first.
Bearings wherever you want. Barry, you did that one too. Very nice.
That wasn't intentional.
Oh, well, mine were.
But it was pretty good, though. I have to applaud you for that. Yes. But yeah, so I'm always really happy. I'm always really happy whenever I get my first set of arcane goggles in any game with Thaumcraft in it, because that just it's just kind of very comforting to be able to see nodes. I don't know, it's hard to explain it, but it's nice to know that I can see them again. So yeah, that is very good. So that was
an old friend.
Yes, that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, it's kind of like being able to see an old friend when you can see these things through the walls. That's a very good way of putting it, Josh. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. I have those moments every once in a while.
Yeah, when you come back to a certain mod that you like. Yeah. So yes, that's basically that's a very simple, basic demonstration of how you do research with Thaumcraft, and also kind of as an introduction to nodes. And we'll go into more of that later. We'll get better wands that can hold more V, and that won't give us as horrible a penalty when we're spending it. So first of all, I'm going to do one or two do one or two researches that are very useful for anyone starting out Thaumcraft. The first one is Research Expertise, so we'll get a research note for that. So we've got Ordo, Census, and Cognitio here. What are you up to over there, Josh, while I solve this here?
Oh, building.
Let's see if I can go to Air.
Something. Don't know what it is yet, but I'm laying the foundation for something evil. No magic can contain. It's not true necessarily, but...
So now we have Air plus Ordo here. It's going to be Motus. Get a research note here. So now whenever we do research, whenever you remove an aspect, there's a 25% chance it will regain the research point, and are able to see what aspects you need to combine to create an aspect you're hovering over, which is very handy. Yes, so if we're hovering over a primal aspect, obviously those aren't made up of anything, but if we're hovering over any compound aspect, Cow, would you get off my research table? Excuse me.
Evil.
I'm trying to work here. Thank you.
Evil cow.
Where was I? Yes. So when you hover over any non-primal aspect, it will show you what two aspects are required to make it up, which is very handy in case you forget, like I do. So I couldn't remember what Tempest is because it's not a regular normal Thaumcraft aspect. So it's Vacuos plus Ordo there. I think you can double check, in a case where you're not sure what something is, what something takes to make up, basically. So yeah, it's a good way to double check. I couldn't quite remember everything that we were scanning last time. Oh, that's right. So there was a couple aspects that I mentioned that we didn't see in my last video. One of them was Mato, which I discovered when I scanned a hoe, because it shows up in hoes and shears. It's just harvest there. There's Tempestus, which is air plus aqua, I believe, which is very rare. I'm not actually sure even what it's found in normal Thaumcraft. You can find it in various blocks from Natura, various cloud blocks and stuff, but I can't actually remember what you can find it in just normal Thaumcraft or normal vanilla Minecraft, which is why we didn't run into it. There's one more, Praecontagio plus Pertitio, I believe, and this is Vitium, or Taint. And this one is, it's not super rare. It's actually found in quite a good number of objects, but they're all found in a very specific biome, which we haven't actually found yet, I don't think. But we will almost certainly see it later on. We'll need to find one of those in order to kind of progress further in Thaumcraft and do some of the higher tier stuff. So, anyway, now that we have research expertise, it's opened up a few other things here. I'm going to go for this research mastery because it does something useful that I can't remember off the top of my head. I just know that it's always a good one to get when you're first starting. You notice it's marked there as forbidden knowledge, mostly harmless. Now this will, once we research it, will give us a little bit of warp ourselves. As you can see, this is a little bit harder. It's got more aspects. It's got kind of a slightly broken up grid there. But it's not any more difficult in principle than any of the ones that we've been doing so far. So we'll just need to go ahead and solve it here. So part of the, part of the trick to solving these things is figuring out good combinations that use aspects that you have a lot of. Let's see here. Praecontagio, so Vacuos, that gives us, that connects to air, which connects to Lux there, so there we go. So that's not, this is almost certainly not the most efficient route that you could have made, but whatever. I'm not super worried I usually don't have too many problems with running out of research points in general. So, now this, it says down there at the bottom, we've gained permanent warp. That just means, some of the deeper, darker secrets of Thaumcraft will make you go a little bit crazy, shall we say. And we'll definitely see more of that as we get further on. We'll start seeing some interesting things. So anyway, we've become more efficient at performing research. Now we have a 50% chance when we remove an aspect that we regain the research point, a 10% chance whenever we place one that won't cost any research points. So this is it's a good way to help maximize our research points, basically. And then lastly, we'll be able to combine aspects in the research table by shift-clicking of the aspect you want to create. So this is very useful here, since a lot of times you'll be doing doing a research note here, going happily along, and then you'll discover that you're out of Lux, and you want to make some more. And you could do it by going and clicking, air, Ignis, and manually clicking like that. Or with Research Mastery, you can just hold shift, and left-click on it, and it will automatically create it as long as you have those two aspects. Which is just it's a little bit of a convenience, kind of nice time saver thing. So it's always nice to get those two really early on. And from there, it's kind of up to
There's something angry on my hill. I can keep hearing it around me.
Oh yeah,
like a yeti, a giant yeti growling around here.
Oh yeah.
Probably the Blitz or something. Blue.
Oh, I think I might have seen a Basal's around there.
Something.
Yeah.
Something a nasty yeti in the cave.
Those do sound rather they tend to sound rather angry. Yes. Yeah. So this first tab here, basic information. These researches some of them are pretty useful to get when you're starting out. So advanced node tapping here. Oh yeah. So this advanced node tapping will be really useful to us. And now one of the reasons I went to go around and just do all the scanning the last episode is because you want to, if you don't know what an aspect is, if you haven't discovered Arum, for instance, this will just show up as a little question mark. You can't actually do this research until you figure out what it's referring to, so, which can be really frustrating when you're trying to do some of these fairly simple basic researches and you don't have what's actually a much more advanced aspect here. So that was the reason I went around and tried to get as many different aspects as I possibly could so that we'd discover them all and we'd actually be able to do these researches. I'm actually going to make some more Arum here because I've got quite a bit of air in Praecontagio, and this is a good way to jump between them, or convert between them. And luckily, Arbor you tend to have a ton of because it's in all wood, and that's pretty simple. And Praecontagio's Ordo plus Pertitio. Let's see here. Try there for good.
Nope.
Okay, so we can do Ordo here, and then air plus Ordo is Motus, and then that will do that. And these won't actually connect because I just put two arbor together. Good job. All right. Luckily, we can just go here, Urba in between them. You can see it's connecting there. There we go. What you up to over there?
Trying to build something. Whoop.
All right. So with advanced node tapping, we can basically draw a V from nodes twice as fast, which is handy when you're trying to draw from with a large wand. Node Preserver, this is also really good. In fact, I'm going to want Master Node Tapping eventually, so I'll get that as well. There's pretty much no limit to the amount of different, research nodes you can have on hand available at any one time.
Go away. I'm not taking visitors right now.
All right. So if you can convert anything to air, then you can usually use the Arbor Air Urba tree to pretty quickly cross large distances here. Now Lucrum, it's got Humanus and Famus in it. Okay, and Famus has Victus, which is also Victus plus Terra makes up Urba.
I'm famished. Oh man.
Okay, so yeah, we've got more Arum here. Alright, so we've got two more researchers here. We've got Node Preserver. So this one is very useful because it means we now always leave at least one V of each aspect of the node, unless you're sneaking, although we can't do that using wood and iron wads. So this will help us not have to worry about losing a particular type of aspect in a node by completely draining it, like I mentioned. Master node tapping, now we can draw V 3 times faster than normal. So this is a bunch of quality of life, kind of efficiency things that make it a lot easier to do stuff. So yeah, we are now starting out. We're now pretty good, getting ready to start out in Thaumcraft here.
Lots of sand.
There we go.
And always more sand.
So we put the Great Wood Wad in there. Put gold caps there.
Wad.
Great Wood Wad.
There's a Great Wood
We
Wad.
got a Great Wood Wad today in class.
A wowie. What?